The Bible tells believers to seek and to test everything. These instructions imply investigation, not blind acceptance. Blind belief is usually associated with children, who trust authority because they lack the ability or power to verify claims themselves. Adults, however, are expected to question, test, and reason. So let's do exactly that. First principle of reality: anything that exists independently of belief can be verified without belief. If Jesus were a real, physical person who lived publicly during the first century, he would exist within a known historical environment. That environment is not mysterious. We know many people who lived at the exact same time Jesus is said to have lived, and we can verify them. These people are not known through faith. They are known through independent records, inscriptions, coins, writings from multiple sources, archaeological finds. Let's examine them. First, Caesar Augustus, 63 BCE, 14 CE, Roman emperor during Jesus' supposed birth, verified by coins with his face, statues, inscriptions, multiple historians, Suetonius, Tacitus, Dio Cassius, no belief required. Second, Tiberius Caesar, 42 BCE, 37 CE, emperor during Jesus' supposed ministry and execution, verified by coins, statues, government records, Roman historical writings, still no belief required. Third, Pontius Pilate, governor of Judea, the man said to have sentenced Jesus to death, verified by the Pilate inscription, stone inscription found in Caesarea, 1961. Roman records, Jewish historians, we know, his title, his position, his time in office. But here's the key point. The inscription verifies Pilate, not Jesus, still no belief required. Fourth, Herod the Great, ruled until 4 BCE, king during Jesus' alleged early life, verified by coins, architecture, fortresses, temples, multiple historians, Josephus, still no belief required. Sixth, Caiaphas the high priest, the priest said to have played a role in Jesus' trial, verified by a limestone ossuary, bone box, inscribed with his name, archaeological confirmation of priestly burial practices. This is important. We can verify the priest, but not the man he supposedly judged. Still no belief required. Sixth, Philo of Alexandria, 20 BCE, 50 CE, Jewish philosopher who lived during Jesus' lifetime, wrote extensively about Judea, Jews, Roman rule, religious movements. He never mentions Jesus, not once. No belief required. All of these people lived in the same time period, appeared in the same region, were involved in the same political system, and yet they are verified through multiple independent sources. Jesus is not. Still no belief required. What you are looking at is a blank image. That blank space represents Jesus, and that is exactly why belief is required, because nothing can be verified. During the exact same time period Jesus is said to have lived, Rome verified everyone else. They verified emperors, governors, priests, rebels, criminals, kings. We have their names, titles, coins with their faces, inscriptions, writings by multiple historians, burial remains and ossuaries, architectural projects, dates and locations. Some of these people were less important than Jesus is claimed to be, yet they left evidence. Now stop and think. If Jesus truly drew massive crowds, performed public miracles, healed openly, raised the dead, challenged religious authority, disrupted social order, and was executed by Rome, then logic says we would expect at least one of the following: a Roman record, a legal document, a trial transcript, a government notice, a contemporary eyewitness account, a physical description, an archaeological artifact, an independent historian mentioning him during his lifetime. But there is nothing, not one document written by someone who met him, not one Roman execution record, not one court file, not one inscription, not one statue, not one coin, not one physical description, not one bone, not one burial site, not one artifact tied directly to him. Meanwhile, the men around him, the ones supposedly involved in his life and death, are verified. We can identify the governor who sentenced him, the priest who questioned him, the kings ruling the region, the emperors in power. We can verify their existence without faith, But the central figure, the most important one, the miracle worker, the savior of the world, blank. And here's the key realization most people miss. Faith is not required when something is real. You don't need faith to know the sun exists. You don't need faith to know fire burns. You don't need faith to know your parents are real. Faith only appears when evidence is missing. That's why Christianity doesn't ask you to verify. It asks you to believe, because belief replaces what cannot be proven. And notice this carefully. The story of Jesus exists only inside the book. The book speaks for him. The book identifies him. The book tells you what he said. The book tells you who he was. Reality does not work like that. Real people exist outside of books. Books describe them. They don't create them. Everyone from Jesus' time can be placed in history except Jesus. Everyone can be verified except the one who supposedly mattered most. That blank image isn't an accident. It's the truth you were never told to look at. So the real question isn't, why don't you believe? The real question is, why does this story require belief at all? Because belief is what you're given when evidence doesn't exist. Final thought, read this slowly. Truth does not hide behind faith. Reality does not ask permission to exist. What is real does not require belief, defense, or fear of questions. Every person who lived during that time can be verified, except the one you are told is the most important human to ever live. That should stop you, not to attack you, not to shame you, but to wake you. If questioning a belief feels dangerous, if asking for evidence feels wrong, if logic feels like a threat, then you are not protecting truth. You are protecting conditioning. Seeking truth should never require turning your mind off. And if your faith collapses under honest questions, then what you had was never truth. It was trust in authority. The Bible told you to seek. The Bible told you to test. The Bible never told you to stop thinking. So don't ask, why don't you believe? Ask the harder question, why were you taught to believe instead of taught to verify? That question isn't rebellion. That question is freedom.